Good morning. Need a little light. It's a little dark out today. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Muse. I've been experimenting with some things and now I have this weird little subtitle at the bottom of the YouTube screen. Anyway, we'll figure it out. We always do. It's always chaos, but we always figure it out. Okay. Uh Consistency. First things first, I put in the title of both pages here the link to go to the Heart's Discernment group. So if you are interested in the things we talk about here every morning and you want to get deeper into my story and my background and how to overcome the things that I have overcome, I would suggest you go click that link, get on in that group. And of course, when the video is over, I'll click the link myself and make sure I put the right link in there. Anyway, there are 3 questions you have to answer. Very simple. It's nothing, no personal information or anything like that. It's just to make sure we keep trollers out because it is a very private group about private emotions and private stories from fellow community members in that group. All right. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk. Today's subject is consistency. Now, if you're a business person, you've heard consistency all the time. You've got to be consistent. You've got to do this consistently. You got to show up consistently. You got to post consistently. Okay, it's all about consistency. That is so true. Even if you're doing it all wrong, if you're consistent with it, things change. But here is what I wanted to talk about today, not consistency in business, but consistency in your life. Think about that for a minute. I'm having a little problem here today. So, consistency with your life. What is it that you are consistent with? Okay, me being a wife, I mean, I'm a mother too and a grandmother, but uh, I don't have them all here. It's just my husband and I and all of our animals. But consistently, every day I prep dinner between my bus routes, and then I cook dinner when I get home. Consistently, I get up every morning at 5 a.m. Consistently, I go out to the barn and take care of my animals. Okay, so enough about that. What happens if I'm not consistent that day? I don't get up on time. I don't go to work. I don't let the animals out. That barn is going to look atrocious. I don't feed my husband. He's going to starve to death. He wouldn't starve to death, but he would eat all the wrong foods that are against his diet, and then we'd have more medical issues, right? Consistency is what we live off of. When we're going to go to the store, what do we consistently do? Walk to the car. Maybe you don't drive. You walk to the store. It's the things we do every day. You drink too much coffee, you consistently walk to the bathroom to pee, right? Okay. I know this sounds a little strange right now, but here's my thing. When you are being consistent, things seem like they're plateaued. I do the same thing every day. It's monotonous. That's all I do. So that is the second type of consistency. Okay. First business, then everyday life consistency. Now, what about you? What your goals are? What about the consistency or the lack of consistency for where we want to go? Now, what do I mean by that? 10 years ago, I wrote a book and I was consistent with getting a hold of a publicist and doing all the things. And all of a sudden, a roadblock came up. I stopped my consistency and I retracted. The book never came out. Years later, the book is coming out now. It'll be out by February. And then there will be one to follow every year after that. Because when I realized that through my blockers, it was me holding me back. It wasn't that that lady ran off with my money. It wasn't that I picked the wrong publishing company. It wasn't, I mean, that had things to do with it, but it wasn't ultimately the fault of me not getting the book published. Sorry. The reason is I stopped being consistent. Now, why do we stop being consistent? We stop believing in ourselves. Ultimately, guys, that's what happens. We stop believing in ourselves. And somebody might argue with me and say, no, I know I could do it. It's just not the right time for me. Okay, that's just a cop out. Because what happens is something in your mind changes. Now, at the time, I thought, no, it's not my fault the book didn't get published. This lady ran off with my money. I don't know how to find a good publicist. I've reached out to I'll look on a book and see who published it, and I'll call them, and or they want to change all my words, and then it's their book and it's not. Those are my excuses. The truth of the matter is, I felt like maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe that's a sign just saying my book just stinks and I'm just not good enough. I have news for you. I am good enough. The book might stink and 3 people might enjoy it, but I am good enough to do what I want to do. May not be right for everybody, but if it's right for me, I'm good enough. You are good enough. Let me say that again in case you didn't hear me. You are good enough, no matter what you want to do. Doesn't matter what you want to do. Now, if you're 50 years old, never been in politics, and you say, I want to be the president next election, okay, that's not going to happen. But it does not mean that you're not good enough. So when something comes up like that, where it's just impossible, it's not going to happen. What do you do instead? Maybe go to the city council, start showing up to the meetings, maybe get on a board, start doing things in your own community. It may not be the presidency, but you don't know all that stuff in your head if you've never touched politics. Start going to the courthouse, start showing up for council meetings, start showing up for your community, and start getting your foot in where you think you want to be. See if it's right for you because you're good enough. If you can't achieve what your ultimate goal is right now, look at the things of the people before you who have accomplished these things and break it down and say, well, wow, they own this huge corporation. I don't think they just walked in one day and said, I'm going to own this corporation. Bam, it happened. No, they took steps. So, what you need to do is look at the steps for what you want to accomplish. Look at the people around you and even reach out to them. What steps did you take to get to where you are? Because 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say, "Well, I did this and I messed it up so bad, and I never thought I was gonna get here because, this went bad and that went bad, and, then I screwed this up." Okay, that's good. That's good to hear those things. I want to know. In my business, I want to know who went before me and how they screwed up royally, because you can learn from that. You can learn from it. So if I'm looking at somebody wanting to put a book together, wanting to write a book, or whatever it is you want to do, I've done it. I've screwed up royally. It took me 10 years to get this book published. So I would want that person to come to me and say, hey, Ginger, I've heard you say it took you 10 years to write a book. So tell me how you screwed up. That's what I would do. Tell me what you did to get to those screw ups. how you overcame those screw ups, and then how did you get on the right path to get where you're going? Why do I want to know your screw ups? It's not so I can say, what an idiot. I can't believe you did that. No, it's so I can go, ooh, I was teetering on making that same choice. Okay, so how did you overcome it? What did you do instead? It's learning. It's not being the smartest person in the room. You never want to be the smartest person in the room. I say that all the time. So now I'm going to a smarter person in the room, getting the information I know so I know how not to screw up, how to do it correctly, and tread water and consistently moving forward. That's how the race is won. That's how you can achieve anything you want to because you are good enough. I don't care what you're doing. You are good enough. I know that. My Lord knows that. And you may not know it, but I'm not going to stop till you're aware of it. Yep. Sorry. Unless you shut this off, I'm right here. And I'm going to tell you every day I love you. I believe in you. I know that you can do what you want to do because you're good enough. And I'm not the greatest person in the world. I am so ignorant to so many things. Like, I cannot figure out why this little thing is on my computer screen. But you know what? I am good enough. I'm good enough to know that I'll either figure it out or I will call people and have them help me figure it out. I am good enough. And you are too. In the comments, tell me what it is that you want to achieve. Let's say within the next month, 2 months, what is it that you want to achieve? Because you're good enough. And the first thing to being consistent is taking the first step. So your first step right now is putting in the comments what you want to achieve. I don't care how small it is. It could be filling out your Christmas cards, sending out a birthday card for this month. Whatever. I don't care how small, how big it is. Put it in the comments. Tell me what you want to achieve. You don't have to do it right now. Think about it for a minute. What do you want to achieve in the next month or two? Let's just make it the next month. Make it simple. A very small personal goal. What do you want to achieve? When you have it figured out and you put it in the comments, first of all, I'm going to be praying for you. Second of all, I'm going to be lifting you up. And third of all, I'm going to remind you that you can do anything. Be consistent in your thoughts, knowing you're good enough. Be consistent in your habits, working towards it. Be consistent in everything you do. All right. Well, I need to go be consistent now. I love you all. Have a fantastic Tuesday. We're almost to the middle of the week. Have a great day, y'all.